Someone filmed this from a car dashcam, a covered vehicle, moving slowly through a Russian military checkpoint. Something underneath that tarp. Something they clearly did not want anyone to see. When the footage surfaced, military analysts from 3 different NATO countries started asking the same question simultaneously. What is under that cover? The answer involves Russia's most advanced tank. A vehicle that Uralvagonzavod, Russia's largest tank factory, has been quietly upgrading while the entire world was focused elsewhere. And when you see what they changed, you will understand immediately why they covered it up. Let's start with what we know for certain. Uralvagonzavod, the massive defense complex in Nizhny Tagil, is running at maximum production capacity right now. 3 shifts per day, 7 days a week, since early 2022. And what is coming off those production lines is no longer the standard variants of Russian tanks that Western analysts have been studying for decades. Something changed in 2025. The vehicles now leaving the factory, the T-90M Proryv, the T-80BVM, and the T-72B3M, are arriving at the front with something different. Something additional. Thicker layered protection packages, integrated from the factory floor, not welded on in the field by frontline crews. The covers you see on transport vehicles moving through Russian checkpoints? They are not hiding old equipment. They are hiding new upgrades that Russia is not ready to reveal publicly. And here is what makes this strategically significant. Uralvagonzavod deliberately keeps exact production figures classified. The CEO, Alexander Pepav, has publicly stated that uncertainty itself is a weapon. When NATO does not know how many upgraded tanks Russia has produced, they are forced to assume the worst, to overplan, to spread their resources thin. The cover on that vehicle in the dashcam footage? It is not just canvas. It is psychological warfare. Now let us talk about what is actually under those covers. Starting with the T-90M Proryv, which sits at the absolute top tier of Russia's current tank fleet. This is not your grandfather's Soviet tank. The T-90M features the Kalina fire control system, thermal imaging, laser rangefinding, and ballistic computation that rivals anything on Western tanks at 3 times the price. The turret is a reinforced welded design, significantly stronger than the cast turrets on earlier T-90 variants. Relict explosive reactive armor covers the hull and turret, 4th generation ERA that defeats tandem charge warheads specifically designed to beat earlier ERA systems. There is a remotely operated weapon station for the 12.7mm machine gun, meaning the commander can engage threats without exposing himself above the turret line. But here is what the competitor's script missed entirely. The 2025 upgrade package changes things further. Rostek, Russia's defense technology giant, has now integrated a top attack protection package directly into factory production. Additional armor over the engine compartment. Additional armor over the turret roof. The 2 areas that drone operators have been targeting specifically because they are traditionally the thinnest and beyond the physical armor. Electronic warfare systems are now being installed as standard equipment across the entire T-90M fleet. These systems disrupt drone control signals before the drone reaches targeting range, creating what Russian engineers have described internally as an invisible protective dome around the vehicle. What started as improvised cage armor welded by frontline soldiers is now a factory-integrated, systematically engineered anti-drone package. That is not a minor upgrade. That is Russia industrializing the lessons of 3 years of drone warfare. Now let us talk about the vehicle that NATO armor specialists consider the most tactically interesting in Russia's current fleet, the T-80BVM. On paper, it looks similar to the T-90M, same 125mm smoothbore gun, similar ERA package, comparable fire control systems. But underneath, it is fundamentally different. The T-80BVM is powered by a gas turbine engine, not a diesel, not a hybrid, a gas turbine. The same type of engine found in helicopters and jet aircraft. What does that mean practically? Power output of 1,250 horsepower. Acceleration that leaves diesel-powered tanks standing still. Top speed on road, 70 kilometers per hour, which makes it significantly faster than the Leopard 2, faster than the Abrams, and faster than virtually every Western tank currently in service. But the real tactical advantage is temperature. Gas turbine engines start reliably at -40 degrees Celsius, without preheating. without preparation time. Diesel engines at that temperature require preheating periods of 30 minutes to an hour before they will start reliably. In the Russian operational theater, where temperatures in winter regularly drop below -30, that difference is not academic. A tank that starts instantly at -40 can move and engage before a diesel-powered opponent has even started its engine. The 2025 upgrade package on the T-80 BVM mirrors the T-90M improvements: factory-fitted top attack armor, integrated electronic warfare, improved crew survivability measures. But it adds one additional element specific to the platform: improved thermal management systems that reduce the gas turbine's infrared signature, specifically because the turbine engine produces significantly more heat than a diesel, making earlier T-80 variants easier to spot with thermal imaging. Russia fixed that problem, quietly, at the factory, under a canvas cover on a transport truck. Now let us talk about the tank that actually wins wars by numbers: the T-72B3M. If the T-90M is Russia's elite strike weapon and the T-80 BVM is its speed weapon, the T-72B3M is its production weapon. There are more T-72 variants in Russian service than all other tank types combined, thousands of them, spread across every military district, in storage facilities from Kaliningrad to Vladivostok. The T-72B3M is the most extensively modernized version of this platform, and what Russia has done to it since 2022 is remarkable. New Sosnyu thermal imaging fire control system, allowing the crew to engage targets day or night at ranges exceeding 5 kilometers. New V92S2F engine producing 1,130 horsepower, significantly more powerful than earlier T-72 variants. Relict ERA package, the same fourth-generation explosive reactive armor fitted to the T-90M. Contact 5 ERA on side skirts, protecting against RPG and ATGM side attacks. Dynamic protection on the turret roof, specifically addressing the top attack vulnerability that FPV drones have been exploiting. And the 2025 factory upgrade package adds the same electronic warfare integration being fitted to the T-90M and T-80 BVM. Here is what this means strategically. Russia is not just producing more T-72B3MS. Russia is producing better T-72B3MS, with upgrades that address exactly the vulnerabilities that have cost them hundreds of tanks since 2022. The lessons of 3 years of brutal warfare are being incorporated directly into production. Every tank coming out of Uralvagonzavod right now is smarter, better protected, and harder to kill than the one it replaces. Here is the strategic concept that most Western analysis completely misses. Russia is not trying to build one perfect tank. Russia is running 3 separate production lines simultaneously, each producing a different capability and combining them into integrated tactical packages on the battlefield. T-90M leads the assault. Best protection, best fire control, best survivability, used for the most dangerous missions. T-80 BVM provides the mobile exploitation force. When a breakthrough happens, T-80 BVMs exploit the gap at speed before defenders can regroup. T-72B3M provides the mass, the numbers that sustain operations across a 1,000-kilometer front line, the tanks that can absorb losses and keep advancing because there are always more of them. This 3-platform approach is not an accident. It is a deliberate strategic architecture designed to create problems that no single NATO defensive solution can solve simultaneously. You cannot optimize your anti-tank systems against one threat when 3 different threats with 3 different capability profiles are coming at you from 3 different directions. And all 3 platforms, right now, are being upgraded simultaneously. At the factory, before they reach the front. That is the real story under that canvas cover. Now here is the geopolitical dimension that gives all of these tank upgrades their strategic context. Western sanctions were designed to cut off Russia's access to advanced components, microelectronics, precision manufacturing equipment, specialized materials. And for a brief period in 2022, those sanctions created real production disruptions at Uralvagonzavod. But Russia adapted, and the route it used to adapt is one that no Western Navy can interdict: the Caspian Sea. the world's largest inland body of water. Surrounded entirely by Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, and Iran. No U.S. carrier strike group can enter the Caspian. No NATO naval asset can patrol it. No maritime blockade is possible. Recent reports, unconfirmed but credible, suggest the Caspian has become a primary logistics corridor between Russia and Iran. Drone components flowing south. Military technology flowing in both directions. Iranian ports like Bandar Anzali in northern Iran serve as transfer points, receiving Russian components, re-exporting Iranian-produced materials back north. Grain, industrial equipment, and military technology all moving through the same route, completely beyond the reach of Western interdiction. This is why the sanctions have not stopped Uralvagonzavod. Russia found a way around them, through a body of water that NATO simply cannot access. And as long as that route remains open, the tanks will keep coming. So what does all of this mean for NATO and for the broader strategic picture? 3 things that Western defense ministries need to grapple with and are not doing fast enough. First, the upgrade cycle is accelerating. Russia is not just replacing lost tanks with identical replacements. It is replacing them with better tanks. Each production batch incorporates lessons from the previous month of combat. The gap between what Russia is losing and what Russia is fielding is closing in Russia's favor. Second, electronic warfare integration changes everything. The standard NATO playbook for defeating Russian armor relied heavily on anti-tank guided missiles and FPV drones. Both systems are now being systematically countered by factory-standard electronic warfare packages. The weapons Ukraine has been using most effectively are becoming less effective, not because Ukrainian operators are getting worse, but because Russian tanks are getting harder to hit. Third, the production numbers matter more than individual platform quality. NATO has better individual tanks than Russia. The Abrams, the Leopard 2A7, the Challenger 3, all are superior to the T-90M in specific capability categories. But Russia is producing tanks faster than NATO is sending them. And quantity has a quality of its own, especially when that quantity comes with 2025 factory upgrade packages. The covered vehicle on that dashcam footage represents all 3 of these realities simultaneously. A new upgraded tank, being moved secretly to a front line where it will face opponents who are running out of answers. Here is the bottom line. What is under that cover is not just a tank. It is the answer to 3 years of battlefield lessons. Factory integrated, systematically upgraded, produced faster than Western sanctions were supposed to allow. Russia did not just survive the drone war. Russia industrialized the response to it. And what is rolling out of Uralvagonzavod right now, under canvas covers on transport trucks, is the proof. If this level of analysis is what you have been looking for, subscribe right now. Every week we go this deep on military stories that actually matter. In next video, we are going inside Russia's electronic warfare program, the invisible system that is already making NATO weapons miss their targets. That video is coming very soon. Do not miss it. Stay sharp. See you in the next one.